Good morning! Today we're going to talk about millennials. And why is that important? Because you, our students, are millennials. And you should be able to understand yourselves, understand each other, and your teachers should be able to understand you. Today, we're going to talk about understanding and communicating with millennials. A generation is a group of individuals born over a 20-year time period, shaped by a common history and known for its persona. Your teachers are baby boomers, and you, our students, are millennials. And between us is a generation gap. So what makes me an expert on millennials? Our millennium minted brood of 8 born between 1984 and 1999. So I have lots of practice. So what comes to mind when we talk about Underwood, Remington, Brothers, Imperial, Oliver, Olympia, IBM? Well, we're talking about typewriters. That's actually what we worked on when we were clerks. So you could just imagine the work we had to do when we made a mistake. So this is what we used, Snowflake. So now what comes to mind when we talk about Mac, Samsung, Huawei, and we talk about this? What do they mean to the millennials? All of this. And as 21st century learner, we know that you're digital natives, web and tech savvy. You're unwired and mobile. You're at best when you're actually doing social networking, when you are multitasking, you have multiple windows that are open, you learn by doing. You're actually interactive and reflective learners. You have learned how to do reflections ever since you are in grade school. You want continuous feedback. So you do not want it when there's a big lull in between. You are committed to your personal learning and development, and you are lifelong learners. However, on the other hand, you also have a short attention span. You expect instant gratification and recognition. You're often easily frustrated, prone to stress, may undergo depression, easily succumb to peer pressure, and can be manipulative. The 21st century learner, according to Howard Gardner, has 10 intelligences. It used to be just 8, from musical to naturalistic. But now we have come up with existential and moral, and then teaching pedagogical. So you, as millennials, are natural-born teachers. And this is something that your teachers should be able to understand, that you have different learning styles. While many of you are visual, some of you are auditory. You might sometimes close your eyes, fall asleep, but when we call on you, you can answer. Because you have been attuned to listening to our voices. Some of you are still reading. You have those highlighters, and some of you are kinesthetic. You want to see and do. Outcomes-based education and William Spady, according to him, you ought to be able to define 21st century life roles, because only then can outcomes-based education make a difference. And these are the 7 C's of 21st century lifelong learning skills. This is a 21st century scenario. The world is flat. And this is not naturally without stress. In fact, this is more stressful. It used to be during our times that an assignment is given on a Friday, we go to the library on Saturday, we do our assignments on Sunday, and then go to class for the assignment on Monday. But today, you're given an assignment on a Monday afternoon, and you're expected to come out with something printed in crisp bond paper by Tuesday morning. So, the information age is there. At the click of a button, you're able to get information and be able to translate it into something the following day. So, the millennial timeline. Let us start sometime in 1984 when the millennial baby is born. She grows up until in 2017, the millennial yappy becomes a decision maker. How does technology shape the way millennials see the world around him? This is 1984. The millennial baby is born. The me, selfie generation is born. In 1997, gaming offers constant feedback loops, opportunities to make a difference, and millennials pull into the workplace. He grows up with Nintendo, the innovation influencer. So, with a mindset, millennials desire feedback, making a difference, and diverse collaboration thanks to gaming. The millennial skill set is such that he strategizes and has good eye-hand coordination. They are problem solvers and problem finders. They can anticipate, explore, analyze, and resolve problems, examine underlying causes from a variety of perspectives, and develop potential solutions. So look at the eyes now. They have robotics, and that's because they grew up having good eye-hand coordination. In 2000, the millennial teen is introduced to WWW, or the World Wide Web, the innovation influencer. The millennials approach how they learn, work, socialize, buy, communicate, and play differently due to technology. They have facility with access to information, connectivity, and diversity. And they develop team membership and being a good collaborator. This is interactivity and the web. We used to have static internet with Web 1.0. But since July 2016, we are running now in the internet because of Web 3.0. We have all the smart applications. And here, we know that interactivity is key. So now, our students are able to interact with students from abroad. They look up to their peers as their favorite teacher. So we develop a mindset where we develop the collaborative clinician. In 2004, Google is the innovation influencer. The world's information is now at his fingertips and aggregated by Google. The millennial mindset don't consider their parents or teachers as the authority. The internet allowed them to approach problems in a whole new way from previous generations. They develop critical thinking and access because they have to mine through information in the internet. They are lifelong learners and critical thinkers who develop and use cognitive tools and strategies to translate new information and experiences into action by assimilating, analyzing, and synthesizing new experiences. So critical thinking is a must because with everything that is in the internet, we should be able to know what is fake and what is not. Here, we also understand that millennials can do online education. In fact, many are able to finish postgraduate studies using online education. In 2005, the millennial yappy goes social because of Facebook, the innovation influencer. Here, it is about at this time that the millennium yappy enters medical school. So they're early adopters. They leverage social media to consume, collaborate, and contribute. They go to social networking, collaboration, and creativity. So they, as 21st century life performance roles are those of creators and innovators. This is We Are Social Global Survey of January 2018, and we see there, marked in red, is the Philippines. We have a very young population. Internet penetration by country is just a little above the median. But look at this. The time spent per day on the internet, we are second to Thailand. And all of those other countries are way below us. The time spent per day using mobile internet, we are in fourth place. And time spent on social media, the Philippines is number 1. And the most active social media platforms in the Philippines is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Google+, and Twitter. So now, what is the implication to Maslow's hierarchy of needs? This used to be Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you are hungry, you need to eat. But now, the first thing we ask is their Wi-Fi. Is their battery life? Why do we need Wi-Fi? So that we can take a picture of what we're going to eat and post it in Instagram. In 2007, the millennial Yappy participates in the mobile revolution. And the innovation influencer is iPhone and texting. So, lucky are those who have parents who are able to buy them the first generation iPhone. So, the millennials' communication has and will continue to be shaped by technology. And the millennial skill set is one of communicating. They are good listeners and communicators. They communicate by tapping with emoticons, emojis, and acronyms. In 2008, the millennial Yappy establishes himself online. He joins Twitter as it gains traction with the adoption of short character format and as a microblogging platform. Growing up with access to the internet has empowered millennials to contribute and have a voice. Millennial skill set, reflectivity, and a global perspective. They're able to connect with the outside world. And they become supporters and advocates. Here, they're able to explore, teach, for example, teaching the right attitude and values to would-be doctors through their blogs. This is a blog by Dr. Remo Aguilar of Sultan Kudarat. Here, we have Dr. Edgar Lerma, one of our own, who utilizes Twitter for journal clubs, for actually teaching on the internet about nephrology. In 2010, the word of the year is app. And here, in 2011, the millennial Yappy leverages his network, engages himself in LinkedIn, begins cleaning up his online reputation, and begins leveraging his robust social networks through Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, primarily to crowdsource his major life decisions. He asks his network where to live, what to eat, what to buy, where to apply for a job. The millennials value lifestyle and relationships over work, which is why it's not unusual for millennials to choose a city before securing a job. LinkedIn is the innovation influencer. The millennial skill set of crowdsourcing is something that is very important because here they can actually ask the opinions of many from not only from the Philippines, but from other countries as well. They therefore become planners and designers who develop effective methods and strategies for resolving issues and problems. UN report declares internet access a human right. This is primarily because in China, there was a clampdown on the internet. In 2014, the millennial yuppie owns his career. He's now a young professional, maybe graduated from med school. No? So here, the innovation influencer is actually Glassdoor. Here is Glassdoor.com, a website that gives people the inside scoop on companies, with employee reviews, salaries, benefits, and more. They become more adept at transparency and accountability, and they become performers and implementers. They carry out the responsibilities associated with all life roles. They grasp the demands of a particular situation and use available resources to get things done. Downside, sometimes the millennial yuppie, in owning his career, can have a sense of entitlement. So here, Pinoy Jobs Med Doctors, MedTalk PH, they have about 9,000 inside. And Moonlight Bay has something like, I think, 16,000. And one of the things that we often hear is burnout. I want out. No to hierarchy in residency. Gap year for moonlighting. We hope that you'll not find yourselves in the same situation. In 2016, the millennial yuppie disrupts routinely and unknowingly. Without them being aware of it, they have been influenced by YouTube, Netflix, Amazon, Uber. Everything is there. Grab, no? FaceTime, Viber, Messenger. The millennial skill set is one of sharing knowledge and resources. They become self-reliant career learners. They have critical thinking skills, performance orientation, motivation of others through explanations they provide. So they're going to do something if they know why they ought to do it. No? So they share information, time, perspectives, and skills at their disposal. And in 2017, the millennial yuppie becomes a decision maker. No? According to The Atlantic, 30% of 21 to 32-year-olds have already achieved a management position. So they are now making leadership decisions. The innovation influencer is a whole gamut of things in the internet. The millennial skill set is one of building communities through hyperconnectivity. So they're leaders and organizers. They can initiate, coordinate, and facilitate accomplishments of collective tasks.
So now we ask the question, is building up millennial leaders at work different from building up millennial leaders at home? In our family, we have a tagline. The Calimags fly together, soaring high. The good thing with flying, no one can do it for you. You have to do it yourself. But surely, just like the mighty ducks, you can be the wind beneath each other's wings. Children are great imitators, so boomers, give them something great to imitate. Because role modeling is best. It is not the main thing in influencing others, it is the only thing. And as we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. Empowerment is key at home and at work. And therefore, it is important that we target the life goals. Let us teach them to have passion. For the most powerful weapon on earth is, of course, the human soul on fire. And when we send them off, after giving them a good medical education, let us remember that we are doing succession planning. And according to Marshall Goldsmith, the development of a great successor is one of the most important accomplishments that a CEO can achieve. Therefore, as the baby boomer begins to slow down, they need to help their millennial successors get up to speed. much like the handoff of the baton in a relay. Then, it becomes a legacy.
21st century teachers, are you ready to meet the challenge as we understand and communicate with our millennials?